Paranormal Punches is part of the Podbelly Network. Go to podbelly.com for more great podcasts.
Hey y'all, this is Frank the Bigfoot, and you're listening to the Paranormal Punchers.
Hey friends, welcome to Paranormal Punchers. We're a lighthearted podcast discussing anything paranormal, all the paranormals, haunted locations, Bigfoot, UFOs. We talk about all of it. I'm Mark.
I'm Alicia.
I'm Nash.
I'm Dave.
And on this episode, we're going to talk about Lake Shawnee Amusement Park, the very abandoned, the very haunted amusement park. Sounds right up our alley, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I actually wanted to go here a few years ago. I thought it'd be fun if we met up with some listeners down in West Virginia.
Yeah.
Did a paranormal investigation of the place together, and I thought it'd be super fun to hire a clown to jump out of the bushes at Alicia.
No.
So I had this big elaborate plan, but maybe outside of the clown part, dear, maybe we will hook up with some our listeners in West Virginia and do a paranormal investigation of this place. Lish, why don't you take us down to West Virginia?
Sure. Now, this is from visitmercercounty.com. There's something unnatural about this Mercer County attraction. A Native American burial ground, violent deaths, freak accidents. Who knew a simple amusement park could have such a dark past? Now, just to set this up, Lake Shawnee has been declared by the Travel Channel's most terrifying places in America as one of the 10 most haunted places in the world. Now,
that's a bold statement.
I know it is a bold statement, but when we get to some of the paranormal stuff that happens there, they might be right. Now, in the late 1700s, Mitchell Clay and his family of 16 children, I saw somewhere else that it was 14. Either way, he had a lot of kids. They made this area, right?
Making his own football team.
Right. They made this area their homestead. Unfortunately, they had a turf war with the local Native American tribe. And in 1783, a marauding group of them crept up to the home. And while Mitchell was away hunting, killed two of the children, Bartley and Tabitha. Another son, Ezekiel, he was kidnapped and eventually found burned at the stake. So with help from neighbors, Mitchell tracked down a few of the tribesmen and killed them. This event became known as the Clover Bottom Massacre. Now, all three children were buried on the property, and there was a monument there now as a memorial to their tragic death. I did see one story where they said that his party, they cut strips of skin from the Native Americans and passed it down in the family for years.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
that's
kind
horrific.
of like a trophy.
Right. Well, and it was used as razor straps. So like if you've ever gotten a straight blade shave at a barbershop,
right?
They take the leather strap and they go back and forth with the blade. That piece of leather is the leather strap or the razor strap.
Wow.
So they were using that.
Oh my gosh.
That's a little sadistic.
Right?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Now, the land didn't take a whole lot of notice for a while until the 1920s when Conley Snidow, excuse me, I just burped. Snidow.
That's my wife. Keeping it classy.
Sorry. Snidow, I'm not sure how to say his name. He purchased the property. His dream was to create a place where the families of nearby coal workers could come and have fun and enjoy the land. So he built a Ferris wheel, a swing ride, a water slide, a dance hall, a speakeasy, and added a pond and swimming hole.
Right, but right there is where the family's buried and their gravestones. So he just built an amusement park around the grave markers?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, that's...
As one does.
Yeah, right. Now, between 1927 and when it closed in 1966, 6 people apparently lost their lives here. And Dave, I know you have this story of the little girl that died.
Yes, this was kind of tragic. So, the little girl was on the swing ride, and it spins you around on like you're on a swing, but at high rates of speed. And a delivery guy was dropping off soda to one of the concession stands, and accidentally put it in reverse right into the path of this swing ride.
Wow!
And she was killed, I guess, instantly.
Wow.
So very tragic end for her.
Goodness.
Yeah, I heard that it ended up decapitating her.
Oh my gosh. I didn't hear that. Yikes.
Yeah.
Now, there is a red ribbon or pink ribbon. I'm sure it's faded over time, but on the swing that she actually died on. But now the swing actually, it was sold after this happened, but surprisingly enough, it found its way back, which I'll get to.
It came back.
Now, a boy drowned in the pool, and actually I saw something. There was 2 deaths on the lake. Nash, did you get some of that?
I originally came across the one boy who had drowned, and then yes, I too came across there was 2.
Mm-hmm.
There was one that drowned in the pond, and then one drowned in the lake.
Okay.
Now, the one that I came across, I don't know. It's so different between the pond and the lake to have 2. So everything that I saw said the lake.
Okay.
So I don't know if they were using the pond and the lake synonymous, because I only found that in one article where there was the 2 of them, and not just the one. But a boy was in the lake. The lake wasn't really meant for swimming and whatnot, so I couldn't find out why the boy was in the lake. Maybe he was.
Well, they had made a swimming hole part of it.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, that's what it is.
That's probably what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess there was a drain pipe, in this lake, and it reached his arm in, and his arm got caught in.
Oh,
he said he got locked in there and ended up drowning.
wow.
Now, the thing about this boy is that, once I clear my throat, is sorry about that. Is that the boy now? He's kind of there. It's weird. It's kind of like a fun little spirit that he's there. He says that he likes to hang out by the front entrance, so he can welcome people and protect them as they come in.
Yeah.
So I guess as people come in, I'm wondering if it's kind of like I don't know. It's just like his presence there is warding off some of the evil spirits.
Maybe.
I don't know, but he says it said that this spirit is linked to this pinwheel thing. So there's like a plastic pinwheel that let's see, near the lake is an old plastic pinwheel next to a ticket booth, and that this pinwheel is the anchor for this boy spirit to come across from the other side to our side.
Wow.
So yeah, and like you could go up to this pinwheel and like call upon the boy or whatnot. And I guess there's a video of a woman asking the pinwheel itself to speed up or slow down, and it does.
Wow.
And I guess it speeds up without any wind. And it's just really, really cool that you can go, I guess, talk to this pinwheel, and that's where it's said that's where this boy spirit like goes back and chills out. That has a little Netflix and chill on the other side.
Jeez.
And then comes back when people come to the park to help protect them and chill out and walk with them. Have a good time.
I came across this video I was watching, and one of the people that owned the property said that the little boy was actually trapped. Well, he was there for like 3 days. No one could under the water.
Oh God.
Until like a swimmer bumped into him, and then they dove down and brought him out. So that is horrific too. Right. This kid was there for 3 days and nobody knew it.
Right.
Swimming in this pond water. I guess they couldn't really see.
Right. It was probably too dark. The water.
Yeah. Pond and lake water like that's not very clear.
Yeah, and because he was stuck to that drain, which Did you ever see that movie Final Destination 5?
Oh, God.
Where that one dude's in the swimming pool and he gets kind of sucked down to the one drain.
Right.
And then it sucks all his guts out of his butt and it shoots him out a pipe.
Yeah.
No.
And when you said he got stuck to the drain, unfortunately,
Yeah.
I watched too many horror movies and that popped into my head.
No, I don't know if you guys saw it. I saw an alternate version to this, or maybe this was the second death, where a mother dropped her son off in the morning, and when she came back in the afternoon, she found his body just floating in the pool.
Oh, jeez.
Well, there were two deaths in two boys drowned.
So I think both stories were probably kind of melding a little bit.
Right.
Some of the stuff I was saying, but
because I mean that enough is horrific. Like, was nobody else around?
Right.
That why, when she came back, was she the one to find him?
Oh my God!
Now I found this interesting tidbit about the swimming hole. So Patricia Smith, she's the Mercer County historian. She had her own experience at this park back in the day. Her family went there because it was open to 1967. She went there when she was like 5 years old and just kind of walking around in the water with her father. He was holding her hand, but she says something grabbed her leg and drug her into this hole that was in the pond.
Wow.
And her dad was trying to find her, had to dive down. He eventually managed to get a hold of her hair and yank her back out of this.
Wow.
She said from that point on, she never went back in. And, people were saying, oh, maybe it was a catfish grabbed you. She's like, she's 5 years old. She was like trying to think about how much a 5-year-old weighs, like 50, 70 pounds.
Right.
She's like, I don't think a catfish did it, but something grabbed me and drug me into this hole.
Wow.
She never went back in the water. But shortly thereafter, once this hole was discovered, they filled it in with a concrete bottom. And that's where then they had this swimming area with this concrete bottom.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what tried to pull her into the hole.
I know.
That's how Jason from Friday the 13th. That's how that stuff happens.
Yeah.
Well,
Final Destination 8. Something comes out of the hole in the lake and pulls her in to get your guts through your butt. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
We
should write that down.
Though, when you said about the they filled the pond in with cement and concrete and turned it into a pool. So on the story with the mother who found her son's lifeless body, after that event, they filled the pool in with sand and got rid of it entirely.
Yeah.
So I wonder if this is all a chain of events of.
It sounds like like things just compound. Even the guy who owned this, who bought this, what was his name? Snidow?
Yeah, Conley Snidow.
He was his daughter was killed in an elevator accident at the hotel they were staying at.
Oh, jeez.
So it's just so much tragedy with children.
Yeah. Now, Lake Shawnee, it was abandoned in 1966 because of the deaths that occurred here. I also saw it's possibly because there were fewer coal miners living in the area, and many of the mines had been closed and workers laid off, so they just weren't coming.
And also, I saw that also they failed a health inspection.
Oh, did you? Okay.
So it could be any of them.
Yeah.
That was the reason for the closure in the beginning. Was they failed their health inspection.
Okay.
And speaking of health inspection, so they had the swimming pool, the swimming area. He would rent bathing suits to people that came there for the day.
Oh, God.
And they were like made of wool, but he would rent them 3 or 4 times in one day to people. Right? Like,
what the heck?
Yeah, that's my brain's already struggling with the fact that
Right.
I guess he would hang them out to dry and then someone would put them right back on. Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah, so maybe it was a good thing it shut down. So the property sat abandoned for 20 years, leaving behind many of the rides to grow rust and weeds. Now in comes Gaylord White. He bought the property in the 1980s with hopes to return it to its original glory. He found and purchased a swing ride that seemed to be just like what was there before. When they checked the serial number, it matched exactly. He had found the exact ride that had been there 20 years before.
The exact same one or the exact same model?
Well, who knows? I was seeing that it was actually the exact same ride, but
Because that's eerie.
Right?
That's like the Ring of Power kind of thing. It finds its own way back.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, it only lasted 3 years. Insurance prices became too pricey, so they decided that they couldn't keep it open anymore, but they wanted to use the land for something. So they started hosting fishing tournaments and having a mud bogging track.
Yeah, that's right.
Sunday.
Yeah.
They were doing some mud bogging. They had a small track, and would people come out with their trucks and mud bog, which I've done in my youth when I owned a Jeep, and it's super fun. I'll tell you the story later off.
I wonder what the insurance
off the podcast.
I wonder what the insurance cost would be for a park that has, killed people.
That's probably why. Too much.
Mm-hmm.
So a little prohibitive. I would imagine. But that's an expensive premium.
But so they were doing this mud bog thing, and people were enjoying it. They were enjoying it, and they thought, all right, we need to make a bigger track.
Mm-hmm.
So they picked this plot of land, on their land down by this river or creek. They decided, all right, we'll make a bigger track over here. So they started bulldozing, and that's when they started finding arrowheads, pottery, and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, they stopped tearing up the ground. We probably should bring in some experts to check this out. But they called Marshall University. An archaeologist came down from that university to check this land out. Now, I just find it funny, but you take a guess of what the archaeologist, his name was.
Oh, God.
Dr.
Indiana Jones.
Well, not Indiana, but yes, Dr. Jones came down from Marshall University.
No.
And they started digging a little deeper, and they started finding...
That's a good pun. He's an archaeologist. That's what they do. They dig. Anyway.
But they were finding full skeletons, and a lot of them were children skeletons.
Yeah.
They found 13 bodies. Again, this whole thing with children is eerie. Found 13 bodies. They're estimated there might be roughly 3,000 bodies buried in this area. Now, not all of them are just from the Shawnee tribe. They're saying some of them date back to prehistoric times.
Wow.
So, again, strange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But so that that ended the mud bog thing.
Yeah. I think that
they
ended
stopped
a lot of
digging
things.
that up. But now they were trying to get people, some universities that maybe want to fund a dig and learn more and discover more about the property, but nobody's taken that bait. So it just they have a little memorial there to the burial grounds. If you go visit, they build a little memorial, and people leave things there as just a thank you to the Native Americans or for being on the land exploring.
Yeah, so before you actually go into the park to explore, visitors are encouraged to leave a gift or offering as a sign of respect to the Shawnee. So that brings me to the paranormal.
Dun, dun, dun.
So many feel a strange energy or vibe there. Many report a feeling of being watched or followed, and they'll have panic attacks and have a heavy feeling of dread. Now, Scariest Places on Earth filmed there in 2005, and none of the psychics that they brought with them would work on the property at night because they said the energy was so dark it was making them sick. Yeah. So people have heard footsteps. They've heard children laughing, which is terrifying. Disembodied voices, whispers, and screams have been heard here. People will hear mysterious chanting and drums. Lots of times the rides will move on their own, which could be the wind, but it's weird. Many have felt hands on their shoulders or have been pushed by unseen hands. And glowing orbs have been seen throughout the property. Many claim to smell concession stand food, when there isn't.
Fry bread, you know what I'm talking about? Those churros. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Nachos with the nacho cheese, which isn't really chease.
Right.
Oh, God, yeah.
How did I know we were going to get here?
Well, you food discussions. I was just thinking. I mean, nothing beats with the giant plate of nachos.
Now, I feel like, did you mention this? I can't remember now. But there are a lot of teams that come in and investigate. And there was one of the members, they actually got locked in the ticket booth that they have there. It's like this old rundown small building. And I wouldn't even say building. It's just like a shack. The doors don't lock, so they don't really know how they got locked inside of it.
Was it one of the things like in that cartoon where it says, pull for entrance and the guy's pushing on it?
No, he seemed to be kind of terrified that he was getting locked in this little booth. Mm-hmm. Now, there is an apparition that is seen sitting in the same seat on the Ferris wheel. I'm sorry. And there's also another figure that's seen jumping from the top and then vanishing. And I thought I had seen something that somebody had killed themselves by jumping from the top. Geez. But in that one show we were watching, they said nobody died on the Ferris wheel. So
that's what he said.
Yeah.
But he did say in bucket number 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, people see a full-bodied apparition sitting in it.
Mm-hmm. There is a 7-foot shadow figure that's also seen on the property.
Not just any shadow figure. They describe it as it's wearing a cloak.
Yeah. Creepy.
So I'm like, is the hat man's hanging out down there?
Oh.
Wearing a cloak like Batman.
Oh, jeez.
It's not Batman.
Mm-mm. Now, some have seen Native American apparitions lurking in the darkness. Or just, hanging out.
Hanging out.
Yeah. And many
There's
have,
a very difference between lurking and hanging out.
I think I saw I wrote that down because somebody had written that, but yeah.
Because if they were hanging out, they could just be all sitting around,
right?
Just throwing stuff at each other.
I think they're just hanging out on the edge, like just kind of watching what's going on. Is my guess, but
so they're loitering.
Yes,
that's really what it is. They just got off work, Or
are we loitering on the property?
Good point. Mm-hmm. See, the shadow man, that he is said to be lurking. Yeah, he's in the bushes constantly watching people. And that's why some people say they have a sense of like dread, like something is watching me.
Right.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah. Now, many have seen apparitions of small children dashing among the rides and the weeds. Okay. So creepy again. With that,
the Gaylord White himself reported that he experienced when he was cleaning the brush from his tractor in the field shortly after purchasing the property. He saw a full body apparition of a young girl wearing a pink dress with ruffled sleeves. And he believes that was the girl who was killed on the swings.
Wow.
And that she liked watching the tractor so much, he just parked it out there and left it for her.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I think it's still there today. But apparitions have shown up in photos. So, like, you don't know it until you go look at your photos later and you're like, oh, wow, somebody's standing there. Swimming is not allowed, but people will still try it. Yeah, as you do, right? When you're told no, that means yes, right?
It's a concrete pond now, right? I mean, it's a man-made lake now.
There is, yeah. There was like a lake and then also like a pool or something. So,
well, it's always been a man-made pond, and swimming hole, and then eventually a concrete.
Right.
They concreted it, and so there's no like sink pits or drain pipes.
I think the main pond section where they were using it for like fishing, a fishing hole, that's still kind of pond-like, where they dug it out, and there, there's mud and debris and grass. But I don't. Well, and Dave said that the swimming hole, which became the concrete pool, which is eventually was filled in with sand,
right?
So that's done.
That's gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, people will report later that they felt like something was trying to drown them, which you had mentioned, Mark.
Yeah, that she felt like she was being pulled into this hole.
Right. Now, shadowy figures have also been seen just below the surface. So they're, creepy.
Yeah.
Something's lurking in the water.
Yep. EVPs have been recorded where you can hear, "Please leave. I want to swing," or "I'm on a swing." And that brings me to the most haunted place in the park, the swings. Sometimes the swings will just twist and turn on their own, or people will feel like a sudden chill in the area when they're near it. Many have seen a young girl in a ruffled pink dress stained with blood, either riding the swing or in the general area of it. And one visitor left a gift on the swings with the red ribbon is. I can't say that. And he felt his hand go cold and numb as if someone was gripping it tightly. So that is just this few things that we found. But I think this place is pretty haunted.
Yeah, paranormal team was doing some EVP work over by the gravestones of the what was the last name? Well, yeah, you looked that up. But they caught an EVP and they feel like it says
the Clay family.
The Clay family by their gravestones.
Yeah.
It sounds like someone saying, "Have you seen my brother?"
Oh. Yeah.
That's eerie.
Yeah.
That is. And that kind of lends a little credence to what one of the boys who said he was there to protect people as they came in.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like it could use a few more of those, you know? I mean, it seems like he was the only one out there trying to help. I mean, is the only one out there trying to help, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it would be nice if he could see, like, go to the pinwheel and try to get something bigger to help out, like a freaking snuffleupagus or something, you know, just something to come out and help because there's so much negativity running around in that place.
If I saw a full body apparition of snuffleupagus, I would be out of there in a heartbeat.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I would not even stop to see if it's actually there to help and protect me.
You know, I mean, to see a helper riding on the back of one of those guys would be pretty bitching. You know,
it even sounds more terrifying. A spirit child on the back of a weird spirit Sesame Street thing. I'm out. Yeah. I'm out, or I just dropped acid, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So,
yeah, I just think that this place. I think it would be really, really cool to go check this out. You know, there's a couple of things that I kind of. You know, because I do a little research and then I find something to kind of, you know. So it caught me on this whole thing about this pinwheel anchor. And the definition of an anchor. And there's haunted items and there's like possessed items and then there's the anchor. And they're two very different things. So it seems like the swing set is a haunted item containing ghosts or calling ghosts to it, where the anchor would be more of like a conduit from basically between the, come on, you can say, you got to get through this. Come on. Anybody? Bueller?
Nope.
The pudding skin. Going from one side to the other, that it would basically weaken that pudding skin. Oh. And to be able to get ghosts to come through. Do you know what I'm saying? And the anchor wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. But then, so I'm thinking about this anchor and all of these places that are haunted and the swing set and these other things. And that got me thinking about, well, I was like, wait a minute. Where in the heck are we talking about? So I was like, wait a minute. This is Mercer County. Mercer County is West Virginia. And I mean.
No, you got that right. Yep.
Yeah, that's factual. But haven't we already said about the higher than normal amount of craziness that's happening in West Virginia?
Right.
There's so much. And then, of course, I'm like, okay, hold on. Well, I was doing research on one of our previous topics, and maybe it was the last one or the one just before, and I came across something that it's just odd that we picked West Virginia and kind of put it in my little mental parking lot, you know. And it had to do with the U.S. National
That's a giant parking lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a big
but abandoned. No cars are in it.
Well, it's filled with smart cars and tricycles. And those tricycles that go on the water with the really big paddle wheels.
That's exactly what I feel is inside your brain. Yep.
Yeah, just floating around. Yeah, this Mercer County is right on the edge of the U.S. National Radio Quiet Zone. Have you guys ever heard about this?
No.
Nope.
Look it up. I think it possibly gives credence to there's a lot of really weird crap happening in West Virginia theory that we have, because they monitor all radio frequencies. Internal combustion engines give off radio frequencies when they turn over. It's just this huge thing about they monitor everything for specifically. It's like interstellar communications. They do for all kinds of R&D there in this ginormous space. So I was thinking, it gives an explanation into stuff, because you cannot. There are certain zones that you can't even have cell phones. The trucks have to be converted all to diesel. There's just this really bizarre square in West Virginia, and on the border between West Virginia and Virginia. Bisecting those two is this square of national radio quiet, where you can't have any specific kinds of radio waves. And I thought maybe that's why there's so much, why the hauntings are so strong. Like in this park, it's right on the border. Why we've talked about so many hauntings in West Virginia, not to mention all the other weird stuff that we mentioned. But this might give kind of like a beacon for ghosts and the paranormal to be, because they don't have to deal with radio frequencies, if that has anything to do with them. I don't know. What do you think of that?
Wake up, listeners. Are you still there?
Yeah, look it up. Look it up. It's crazy. It's right on the border. Look it up. The U.S. National Radio Quiet Zone.
Interesting. I will have to look that up.
Yeah.
I still think we should put it on our travel itinerary.
Yeah.
You have to call and get a tour. You can't just show up and have people on. You got to call and get permission to come down. But I mean, it's worth a try. Now, Nash, you had a whole radio tower theory, but I was like, this whole thing is a movie trope. This amusement park was built on a Native American burial ground.
Right.
That's right.
It's literally a movie trope, and they even dug a pond. Which reminds me of Poltergeist with digging swimming pools. It's just it sounds like it has all the makings, according to Hollywood anyway, to be haunted. All the tragedy, and it does it for all the children. That's the one thing that is so tragic. But why so many children?
Yep.
Even when they came down to do the dig, why was it mostly children skeletons they were finding? It's a mystery.
Yeah.
And I guess that takes me to like survivability, Native American survivability. That a lot of times that's why they had such large families way back, is because there was a high mortality rate of children. But to be condensed in such a small area, I agree. There's something there, and it's from the kids. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine doing the digging and like, oh my gosh, what is this? I saw pictures of an entire skeleton of a child kind of curled up. Did you all see that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I would. That would be very difficult for me.
Yeah. Well, it definitely is an interesting place, and I think we should go check it out take some equipment, do an overnight, and then of course find a pub to go have a drink and talk about it. It's down in West Virginia. Look it up, check it out. If you're going to go, let us know, because we're about 6.5 to 7 hours from it. So that's how easy. Well, 7 hours in the car with you guys isn't easy, but it's not
Taco Bell ready for the ride.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Why don't we take a quick break? We'll be back with listener feedback and whatever else we're going to talk about. And we're back. All right. Liz, do you like the idea that I wanted to take you down there and hire a clown to jump out of the bushes?
No.
And scare you?
That's a big fat no. I hate clowns. So I think I would be terrified and be like, you know what? You're on your own. I'm leaving.
See, my plan was to tell you what I was going to do. That way, when we do go, you won't even think that I would actually do it. And then so when it happens, you're extra scared.
That's really deep, Mark. There's a couple different layers deep there. I told you we're doing this.
Hey, you know, I think it'd be fun.
And it would help, and it might actually help with your fear of clowns, Lisha.
I think it would be the opposite.
Yeah.
It'd make it even worse.
Make him look like Pennywise.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I won't do that to you.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, want to start this off, giving a shout out to our new Patreon members, Jennifer Donner and Kenneth Hunter. Thank you for joining the club.
Yeah.
I hope you are digging all the extra content we create over there. And some of it's pretty weird and wacky, but I hope you enjoy it. And speaking of weird and wacky, soon be dropping a video over on our Patreon, Puckwudgie Day.
Yep.
A new event we created. We were throwing spears. We were kicking the head off a fake Puckwudgie. And, of course, we had a picnic. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So that video should drop hopefully this week.
Yeah.
I'm almost done with putting it together. Thank you for joining the club. Go check us out. We got a couple exclusive shows over there, podcasts. So if you want to hear more of us, if that's possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Go check out our Patreon. You'll find some fun stuff. All right. We heard from Art Designs 305. You guys need to do an investigation on the top 3 paranormal requested sites in the Northeast. Have a poll to have your listeners to vote on. Investigation sites in PA, New York, or New Jersey. Maybe get some cool sponsors like Yeti Coolers, or Moses Beef Jerky, or White Castle. Love y'all. Keep the Nash on a leash, please.
What? I haven't found one that fits.
We'll manufacture one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, Alberto, that's an excellent idea.
That is.
We definitely should. I know people were saying we should get back out and do some on-site investigations.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it would be great to organize in a manner that some listeners that want to come hang out, maybe even be on the show while we do this. That'd be great. And I would love to have Yeti Coolers as a sponsor.
Yeti would be awesome.
Right?
So if anybody listening works at Yeti, come on. Moses, well, they're already a sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
White Castle. I'd be down with that. Anybody listening that works at White Castle, hook us up. All right. Driving us Thorn. Hit us up again with another topic idea. This time, La Llorona. So
La Llorona?
Llorona.
Well, I'm sure it's pronounced differently than I just did.
Yeah.
But I'm not even going to try. But there was a movie. We saw that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you. We'll put that on the list for sure. I think somebody else had mentioned that too in the past, probably before we started keeping a list.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why I didn't have a list the whole time.
I know.
Kevin J dropped this little fun tidbit on Facebook. Now, I'm not saying that this is what the Patreon money should be going towards. I'm just saying Mark needs this. And it was a link to a Bigfoot thinker garden statue.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Kevin, you are a wicked smart man because that's exactly what I should be spending my money on. Putting a Bigfoot thinker statue in our garden for sure. All right. That's it. Pretty slim on the listener feedback, but that's okay. The world's crazy and everybody's busy. But if you want to send us feedback, just go to paranormalpunchers.com. You'll find all the ways to contact us. Jump on over to Facebook. We have a group. If you want to get it there in the fun discussions everybody's having over there. What else, everybody?
We have an Instagram. We have Twitter. We have a Facebook group. So
Right. If you go to our website, you'll find all the ways to contact us.
Okay.
All right. That was fun. Another place on our list to travel to. I cannot wait to see this in person. Again, if you have some places we should check out that you think we might be able to travel to from our little location here in Pennsylvania, let us know.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, anything else?
Nope.
Nash?
Well, it's a good thing you asked, Mark.
Alicia?
I'm good.
Nash? Oh, that was a joke?
That if we go down there, I think that we should definitely try to drive through the radio quiet zone and see if we get caught.
Okay. That'd be a headline. Stupid podcasters arrested.
That's right. A couple of stupid podcasters are trying to floor it through the radio quiet zone.
Yeah. All right. Well, then, on that note, why don't we say goodbye? We'll be here next time with another topic, which I don't know what it is yet. But until next time, remember, if it's not weird,
it's not worth checking out.